Hi everyone, today I'm trying a Nina Park inspired makeup look with a new Makeup Forever Super Boost Skin Tint. And spoiler alert, I didn't recreate her vibe at all, but I saw a TikTok recreating Nina Park's makeup style, which if you don't know, she's a celebrity makeup artist who creates this timeless, minimalist, soft glam looks with the most natural looking flawless base. I didn't even finish the video. I'm not sure what products the creator used, but I just remembered how much I love her since I believe before pandemic when she started working with Zoe Kravitz. If you see Zoe on the red carpet, you can see just how ethereal her base is, but still skin-like. She also started working with Lily Rose Depp, and I love me some overline lips, which may not be everyone's cup of tea, but I think it's quite glamorous. I'm going to dissect her work by category to try to recreate her makeup, so I'm preparing myself to be humbled for this video. Just a reminder, I'm not a professional makeup artist. I don't even have that much of a healthy skin. And lastly, natural makeup is so deceivingly hard. So I'm just preparing for the worst, but I know I'm gonna have so much fun. First, Nina's clients always look like they have the healthiest skin. It's not insanely dewy or glass skin, but rather a soft focus, softly blurred, and very skin-like base with strategic glow in certain areas. None of her clients look like me, so I'm basing it off her Instagram portfolio in general without singling out a specific makeup look. I think I'm gonna base it more on her work with fair to light skin just to match the level of contrast. I'm prepping with a nourishing moisturizer and eye cream. This is the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream, and the eye cream is from In Beauty. I have, I think, a few lines under my eyes, and this doesn't really make it go completely away, but it does moisturize the area well. And this is a Tatcha Kissu Lip Mask in Plum Blossom. I think it's a limited edition shade. This is a moisturizing sunscreen for sun protection, and I have the Cosmetics Divine Water on hand just in case I need to refresh the hydration level of my base. I'm using the Auric Glow Lust to blur out the perimeter of my face as well as illuminate. This won't accentuate texture, so I can smooth this area out without diminishing the glow. Her eye makeup looks are quite low to medium contrast for lighter skin. I initially thought she mostly does monochromatic looks, but I noticed some other looks have more structure. It's almost undetectable, however she has a lot of eye contour with matte to satin shadows, and she makes sure the eyes pop but doesn't overwhelm the makeup. Contacts first so I can see. This is the Dior Smoky Essentials palette, and I'm going to use these rougher brushes for my eye look today. I love this palette because it has matte to satin shades, so it can be just an eye contour to a more glamorous look. And for the brushes, I just prefer natural bristles for powders because it has a softer blend. The upper lash line is always so defined and tight line. This is from Sephora collection, and she has a soft wing, but since I have close set eyes and a wider face/temple area, I often feel the millennial urge to sharp line. I'll try to make it a bit softer, but I can't compromise the length. And this beige liner for a bare waterline. Her lower lashes are always so noticeable, so I'm going to use this Hourglass Caution Mascara to accentuate the lashes. I see her use a lot of naturally wispy lashes for her clients. This is from Kiss in Falscara. This is my favorite wet FX lashes, which is discontinued, so I'm going to use the clear band instead. But for real, you guys, I'm so angry at Kiss for discontinuing wet FX. It was the perfect length for shorter eyes. Her eyebrow work has a very soft arch and either fuller in appearance or sometimes bare. A noticeable natural tint to the brows and softly defined edges, so I'm going to keep the eyebrows medium contrast at best. This is the ABH Powder Brow Duo in Taupe. My eyebrows are quite bare, so I love using a powder to fill it in, but sometimes when it's looking too medium contrast, I just brush it out. Then I'm going in with the Kosas Airbrow in Taupe just to brush the hairs up and try to keep a fuller appearance. I think I should have left it at this, but I went in with the Kosas Nano Brow in Brown Black, I think is the shade. I'll list them down below. And it just looks too high contrast for me. I don't know. I suck at brows. Hopefully I'm doing the right thing here. As I mentioned, her base is just phenomenal. Sometimes I see a celebrity close-up photo with immaculate skin, and when I check the makeup artist, of course, it's Nina Park, so I'm very intimidated to even just try to match her base makeup today. But anyway, I'll try. I have the new Makeup Forever Super Boost Lightweight Moisturizing Skin Tint with hyaluronic and polyglutamic acids. This is 49 Canadian dollars for 30 ml. I believe it's made in Italy. I'll have to double check. I got the shade 3 for fair skin with yellow undertones. It is described to be a hydrating and plumping skin tint with buildable sheer to medium coverage that leaves a radiant, healthy skin finish and a non-oily feel. I totally agree. It's also advertised to be a gel-like formula, which is so surprising because gel formulas usually set down for me, so it's not that nourishing compared to this one. There are no claims of a smoothing effect, so this is more of a hydrating skin tint rather than a blurring one. I would also use the Chanel bases because these look very healthy on my skin. And now I'm moving on to concealing. I'm using Glossier in Light 2 because it's the perfect match to my skin. And I'm covering the redness I have on my cheeks, which is quite intense if I don't have makeup. Using a great shade match will ensure that your makeup looks so natural. I honestly use more concealer on my cheeks than my under eyes because that's where my discoloration is. I also love pinpoint concealing. This is NARS and Nougatine, just for those tiny blemishes and to make them basically invisible without adding too much product. I also appreciate this technique so much for veins that you want to cover in this area here. It's essential to have the thinnest layers possible for your base, especially if you're using so many products like me. Next up for dimension, she soft sculpts like an angel. She creates such delicate but defined shadows with a bit of glowy warmth on the high points of the face, and she doesn't seem to have blush blindness. Her use of color is very intentional and impressive. I'm using a neutral bronzer shade. This is from Makeup by Mario in the Skin Enhancer formula, and I'm stamping it in just to get the most skin-like finish as possible. I love warmth on the forehead and sides of the cheeks. I don't really like bringing bronzer in a bit too much because then it mixes with the blush shade. Truly such an amazing formula, I mean. Look at that. And now I'm going in with blush. This is Mimi from Westman Atelier. She doesn't have blush blindness, so I'm using sad beige tones. If you're into toned down sun-kissed shades, this one from Westman Atelier looks so gorgeous. I'm using another natural bristle brush from Refer just to softly contour my nose, and I guess a sharper contour just under the jaw area, and a larger synthetic brush for a diffuse contour on the cheeks. I feel like Nina would definitely use a sheer glowy bronzer to add a veil of glow and warmth to this area. For the next product, I'm using a balm highlighter because the glow on her photos doesn't look like a powder product. It's more of a dewy balm highlighter like the Chanel and Lilas. And then I'm just going to add a last touch of powder blush, which is Flirtatious from Pat McGrath, just to make everything softly blurred. Moving on to her powder technique, it seems to be minimal and mostly applied by brush by the way the texture is still visible on her close-ups. And I say brushes because they're not as heavy in application compared to a puff. Although some clients look like she did an extra step to give a more airbrushed effect, so it may be possible that she also uses puffs. We'll never know. But I'll use a puff with a pressed powder since I find the formula is more sheer than loose. Then apply a loose powder and finishing powder with a brush to secure that soft focus veil. This is the Pat McGrath Under Eye Powder in the shade Light, and it's one of my favorite talc-free formulas. However, it's just not long-lasting. You'd have to reapply it throughout the day compared to this one, which is a talc formula, the original Givenchy Prism Lip Powder in the shade 01. It's just so sad that this is discontinued because it's honestly the perfect formula. And I'll add an Hourglass finishing powder to mesh everything together. I see a lot of soft overlining on her lip looks, but I think especially with Lily, she overlines quite a bit. Now for lighter skin tone, she usually does low contrast lips with a hint of color and shine. So since I'm feeling a fuller lip today, I'll do just that, and I'll use a brush because her edges are too soft to not use one. For an initial outline, I'm gonna use the shade Nude Brown from Chanel, and I'm gonna top it off with MAC Cosmetics in Stone because that's more of a grayish, cooler tone to mimic shadows on my lip contour. If you love smoking out lip colors, be sure to have a gray lip liner. This is Calison from Violet FR, which is the perfect sheer beige for me. Then second to the last is Natasha Denona in Peony, just for a hint of color. And then finally, I'm topping it off with Chanel in the shade Boy, just to have that soft glow. One thing about Nina, I think same with other makeup artists, is that she always makes sure the beauty marks are visible. Because it is more natural that way. So I'm using a freckle pen from Kimchi Chic to add my marks back. And I'm gonna finish the whole look with the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray to lock all of this makeup for the rest of the day. I don't even think it's close to Miss Nina Park, but you know, I had fun, and if you enjoyed this video, I hope you would consider giving a thumbs up or subscribing. Bye!